Is there anything like it? Walking around and seeing that my respectable bougie suburban neighbors have filled their yards with skeletons and statues of murderers with bloody knives. It warms my heart. I'm firmly in the camp of people who think it's the best time on this miserable planet. So of course I'm gonna pay homage to it the only way I know how. By drawing furries. I want to do a classic, spooky animal, and then I want to make it not spooky. And for me, that's a spider, because I've been overhauling my relationship with spiders recently. I used to be so scared of them, and when I say used to, I mean like earlier this year. And so let me get some reference in here. I looked up spider dance, and it's just Muffet. God damn it. Oh, she's so cute. I'm gonna kill her. this exact creature. This is gonna be a spider woman who's super duper sweet. This is like a mom on Halloween that's super involved. All the neighborhood kids love her. 'Cause a lot of spiders are very good parents. You know, that's not universal. Every genus has a few bad eggs that eat their kids. I want to do a wolf spider in that she's also like a werewolf. There's nothing to be afraid of here. This is just a nice woman. I'm not looking up spider anatomy for this. You know, my arachnophobia is much better, but there's a line. I gotta loosen up right now, some shapes. So that's good. I like that. I haven't really decided on a style for these yet. No, but she's not a sinister mom. She's sweet, and the neighborhood kids love her. Ooh, I'll incorporate a pumpkin element as well. There's those orange tarantulas. Oh, shit, she has too many limbs now, 'cause I gave her 8 legs. But she's gonna have 2 arms, so she only needs to have 6 legs. Okay. What even ever? Maybe I should style her hair to resemble pedipalps. Do you know what those are? They're like those things spiders have that are like little face feet. When I was picturing this, I was picturing kind of a rounded jawline. That silhouette is kind of lost right now. I want to go back in and build that silhouette back in that I had going, because it was nice for a moment. When I draw, I always rotate my screen so much. And I've been watching speed draws, you know, because I'm doing that. What I find is that when people rotate their screen too much when they're drawing, it makes me feel like I'm going to throw up. I don't mean that as an insult. I mean, like, I actually become physically ill. I wonder if this woman had a different build. I was picturing a soft woman, and I don't want to lose my ability to do that kind of figure. So here we go. This is her after she's given you her candy, being like, "Bye! Happy Halloween!" I haven't done a character design in a while. I've been doing a lot of fan art. And it's so easy to forget, like, about shape language, and posing, and silhouette, and just all that. And just, like, start plugging away with your first idea, like you would kind of for fan art, where you already know what everyone looks like, and you just gotta do it. What's her Halloween costume? 'Cause she is a wolf and a spider. Is she a pumpkin? That's cute. What a cute wolf spider mom. I'm so glad she exists now. And give her some cheek fluffies as well, 'cause she is still a wolf. This is where I did look up spiders for a few minutes. I'll spare you that. Let me do a shape language check and see kind of what the silhouette on this wonderful woman is. I think I'll move this section down a little. You want to make sure you have a strong design from the very bottom before you start rendering. That's not bad. The only thing that gets lost is this other arm. But that's okay. This is still pretty good. This is still a lot of the design that comes through with these simple shapes. Time-lapse time. She ended up with kind of a mid-century look between her hairstyle and the sort of cat's eye mask style, which I'm not complaining about. You can watch me redraw this hand approximately 1 zillion times. When I draw the legs in, I give her these fuzzy knees and ankles to harken back to the tarantula that I mentioned earlier. And at some point, I open her mouth. There it is. Aw, look at her little fangs. My coloring process is pretty consistent. I block in a base color, and then I make a clipping mask, and I do some flats. She was going to be all orange, but I like the contrasting top half better. Honestly, I don't know if this woman even has kids, or if she's just like everyone's mom. Maybe she's an empty nester. I give her some markings on her upper body, and then more on the lower body, and kind of trying to evoke that wolf spider again. I spend way too long drawing the candy in this bowl. It's hard for me to draw groups of things simply. It's a skill, as you don't want too much detail in that one spot or it draws the eye. While I'm experimenting with styles, I outline the entire body in white manually and then erase it. Oh, and ultimately I didn't even have to worry about rotating my canvas because I found out Procreate, the app I'm using, records your canvas without zooms and rotations, and you can export it as a time-lapse, so that's what I did. I did this really nice cell shading on the legs, and then I blur it out of existence, and I do the exact same thing on the body, which is mind-boggling. I made her a sticker sheet for a second, but then I didn't like the orange background, so I gave her green and some pumpkins. And there she is. She's done. Oh my goodness, she's so beautiful. I'm like actually in love with her. I think the rendering on that shirt came out really nice. I'm proud of that. But moving on, my favorite thing about the spooky season of October for sure is horror movies. I'm such a big horror movie nut. My favorite horror movies are actually the classic Universal monster movies. I'm crazy about those. But I'm planning to do more videos on that in the future, because it's my absolute favorite, and I can do that any time of year, because I'm always a giant nerd about it. So I know I either want to do the slasher, make my own classic 80s light killer, or I want to do a survivor, like a final girl. And at some point I came up with the pun, final squirrel. So obviously that's what I'm doing. This isn't very good. This pose kind of makes her look like she's about to play some croquet. Must try something else. Let's try a totally different line of action. Usually this character is able to do some kind of damage against the killer, despite being relatively unassuming most of the time, just through like sheer willpower. That's kind of one of the staples of this type of character. Just through like will to live, and a little bit of good luck, and a lot of resourcefulness. This character manages to overpower someone much, much stronger and much deadlier than them, which is very much a squirrel kind of energy. Those guys are crazy. So I'm gonna give her kind of a feral look in her eye, and some kind of defensive weapon. I picked up a sledgehammer? I picked up a sledgehammer at the, thrift store the other day, and I felt very powerful. So, I'm gonna give her a sledgehammer, which presumably she's already used, or is planning to use, to protect herself. I want to convey exhaustion through the body, because this is someone who's, been through it, already. This person's having a terrible night. This person's tired, they're sick of this crap. They've been chased all over their goddamn neighborhood, or summer camp, or whatever, and they've decided they're ending it now. Maybe they're injured. This tail would definitely get in the way if you were running from a slasher and grabbed that thing. I'm including it anyway, though, because it's essential. Can I push this pose to be a little bit more exhausted? I think so. She should be digitigrade, because she's a squirrel. I've got a plantigrade sauna, so I often forget to consider that. But I'm pretty sure squirrels are not plantigrade. If I'm wrong, oh well. And the tail comes out here. This is my sketching style, by the way. That's why I don't post sketches anywhere, because it's like, I can see what's happening. No one else can. If you're getting any information from this, you're wrong. I don't think I should have those lidded eyes, because this is someone who's been the fuck through it, and is still actively kind of going through it. Final squirrel. I like her so much. I think she's a pine squirrel, because that's who we have around my house. There's a little blood on her on her sledgehammer, I think, because she's already used it once. But it did not kill the slasher, whoever they are. Okay, I like this. I like this sketch. I think I'm gonna roll with this. Oops, no, don't do that. Bestie, please. Let's do this portrait mode. I feel like this face is not quite right. I need to look at some squirrel sonas. What do their faces look like? I know they have chubbier cheeks. What does a squirrel's nose look like? I don't know. This looks like a lynx at the moment. Do squirrels just look like every other rodent? Maybe so. Kind of a narrower muzzle, wide-set eyes, puffy cheeks, buck teeth. This is fucking hilarious. I love her. She kind of looks like she could be a slasher. Like, she's not. I'm sticking by my final squirrel design. But she kind of looks like she could be. Jesus Christ, especially now that I've done this. I think this muzzle is slightly too sinister. We're just trying to make it squirrely. I don't draw a lot of squirrels. That's too much for sure. That's too high. Start with that. I don't think it makes her look too evil. Still a little bit, but it's workable. Apparently the buck teeth are way more essential to the design than I thought. Like, I wasn't even gonna necessarily include them. She's having a rough night. Don't judge her based on how she looks right now. She's having a terrible night. She's getting slashed. Perfect. So fucking perfect. I love her. There's our sketch. Let me ink this. The first thing I do is change her face proportions, which is mostly a stylistic choice. I don't really follow the sketch drawing her face. I just figure it out. Looks nice in the end. Then I spend a really embarrassing amount of time drawing her hair. Hair is a struggle point for me, honestly. You know, I try to use simple shapes like they say to do, but one day I just want to, like, spend a whole day drawing hair until I'm not bad at it. I do like what I came up with, though. I think that works for her. I like the 3 bangs. It's a little more disheveled. Pine squirrels, if you haven't seen them, have these really big, tall, tufty ears, so I definitely wanted to get that in there. That's really cute. Now, you might judge me for how I've accomplished the sledgehammer, but this is a character design challenge, not a sledgehammer drawing challenge, so yeah, I just traced a sledgehammer. Sue me. Oh my god, watch how long I spend on these hands. That's another thing where, like, someday I'm just gonna sit down for a full day and draw hands. Look, I spent so long getting this hand right, and then in the second here, I completely fucking redo it. It's incredible. It's horrific to behold. And a few miscellaneous wounds and blood splatters to make it clear that this is like the end of the movie. Then I brought in some of my favorite final girls for inspiration on the coloring. That's Stretch from the second Chainsaw Massacre, Sally from the first one, Kirsty Cotton from Hellraiser, Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street, Jess from Black Christmas, and Sydney from Scream. So I got the yellow from Jess and the purple from Sally. And I get those blonde bangs that teenagers have now, because I feel like that'll ground her a little bit in our century, which is fun. Then I bring in some squirrels so that I can figure out what a squirrel looks like, and I tweak her nose a little bit. Don't let me forget, I gave her that little dare bracelet, because I picture this being at, like, a summer camp community service combo that she's counseling for. And more blood. I spend a lot of time experimenting with these painterly highlights in the hair, and then I once again blur them out of existence, and it's so frustrating. But it's okay, it's fine. I just do some simple multiply shading, some highlights in the eyes, in the shadows, which makes no sense. But I'm glad I took the time to figure out properly where the shadows and highlights should be. I think that makes this drawing a lot tidier. I like that. And I did the same outline trick so she'd have some visual consistency with Spiderwolf Mom Lady. And I think at this point, Final Squirrel is pretty much done. Once again, I love her. I'm in love with her. I want to be her best friend. I love the intensity of this gaze. This came out so good. Look at her orange teeth. She's the moment. But we're moving on. For this drawing, I want to do something genuinely scary. So I thought to myself, what's an animal that genuinely scares me? And the answer, obviously, is a moose. But the thing about a moose is it's so fucking goddamn huge and so large and so big. They're so big, dude. Have you seen a moose? This is an animal that, while not a predator, not a bear, can just kill the shit out of you if it wants to. And, it might want to if it perceives you as a threat. And it might perceive you as a threat for pretty much no reason. Like, obviously good reason, and they're prey animals, in spite of their, fuck massive, unreasonable size. I don't know what a moose looks like. I'll admit that freely. I want this guy to be like a fucking road reaper. Like, if you see this bitch on the road, and he just appears far too close for you to stop, you slam on your brakes, but there's nothing you can do. You brace for impact, but you pass right through it. And then it disappears. And you don't know what happened or if you imagined it. You know you didn't imagine it. It just vanished, and you don't know how or what even it was. And if that happens to you on a dark forest highway, you probably didn't mean to be driving at night, but you thought there would be a hotel or something, but there wasn't. There was supposed to be, even, but there wasn't. And, now you're just stuck driving at night looking for somewhere to pull over, maybe getting a little tired. Maybe you dreamt it. You are getting very tired. You should really pull over. If that happens to you, that means you're gonna die. This guy's like a road omen. He maybe marks those who will perish on the road. So this is gonna be meat. This is gonna be flesh. And this also will be flesh. Like he's been hit by a car. Like he's the spirit of a moose that got hit by a car. And in that spirit, I think he should have a twisted back. Yeah, that'll be real scary. I mean, it's not scary to have a twisted back. Wait, hold on. I literally have scoliosis. Hold on, I didn't mean it like that. It's not scary to have a twisted back. Even if you've been in a car accident. And you... I make him look like he should be dead. I'll give him some shaggy crotch hair so he's got kind of a satyr vibe. Meese. I said that without any confidence, and it's because I know it's not a word. I know it's not meese. Man, so much of horror is grounded in ableist tropes. You never notice the demonification of physical disability in horror until you look for it. But it's there. It's definitely there. That's ridiculous. Hold on. I'll get this guy's rough body shape jotted in. There we go. There's that twisting spine. What I'm gonna have... I've already mentioned the Road Reaper angle many times. I think I'm gonna give him a sickle. Is it a sickle or a scythe? I can't remember. It's abundantly clear I've never worked in the harvest industry. One's a sickle, one's a scythe. I'm giving him the short one. As you can tell, I didn't look at a moose's antlers before drawing this. They should be comically large, because moose are, in fact, comically large. That's starting to look dope as hell. Shag this up. They say shag this up. Do not shag this. Do not shag. This is the omen of death. What's wrong with you? You can't be lusting after this. Come on. This is the Reaper. This is the end. Yeah, you're trying to fuck the end of all things? Please, have some fucking dignity. Oh my god. Can't take you people anywhere. Nasty hair. Greasy. He'd been hit by a car. Give him a break, I say to myself. Maybe he's kind of fuckable. I don't know. Maybe he's kind of fine. Who can say? I think I was gonna give him clothes. Maybe at this point it's weird if he's naked, because neither of the other ones were. Here we go. That's where a fucking back is, you baboon. Why didn't you draw it up here? That's the shoulders. Here we go. That's the back. There we go. That's how a moose goes. And then here's his chest, and here's this twist that occurs because he's been struck by a car at some point in the past. And then I'll give him, some ribs. And a little open segment here. I toyed with this Moose idea being the slasher to go with Final Squirrel. This man's face is going to be minuscule. I put all that detail in the face, but in any respectable composition, his face will be tiny because his body is so ginormously massive. And his rack, don't get me started on his rack. He's a normal moose except that he's dead and, reaping the souls of those who die on the road on behalf of, I don't know, the devil? I do not think he is a benevolent figure, I'll say that. He might curse you. He might choose who dies on the road. He's an ill omen, but I also kind of think he enjoys it. I don't know. Maybe he is sympathetic. I honestly can't decide. Here's the road that you're on, through the woods, late at night. If the phrase "the woods late at night" doesn't already spark terror in your heart, I don't even know what species you are. This tiny little highway snaking through this massive ocean of trees. That's terrifying. You're so deep in enemy territory. Everything wants you dead. Even the fungi want you dead. You're no good to them alive. There we go. There's my beautiful highway angel. I knew I could do it. That is not a penis. That is his shaggy crotch fur. The shaggy crotch fur that you have when you don't want to draw a dick on an animal. That's a much beloved artistic tradition. Oh, and I'll give him drippy velvet on his antlers, 'cause that's something meese have. Immediately after ending that recording, I figured out that since he has a twist in his midsection, his legs should be facing the other way. So I did that, so that that's set up properly. And after that, it was pretty straightforward to ink this because the sketch was so detailed compared to some of the others. And at the end of the day, this one doesn't necessarily have the same look as the other two. I'll grant that. I was trying to make them fit together a little, but this one has a different vibe, and that's okay. My first priority was to make it spooky, and that's what I've done. I tried putting some robes on him in the line art, but I decided it was weirder to have, some clothes than none, so that doesn't last. I stayed pretty grounded with the colors because I thought it would be spookier and make him feel more real. And as you'll see in a second, I tried doing this really hard, blocky, Mike Mignola type, firm black shading, but I couldn't really commit to doing it, perfectly like I would want to, and this is something where you really have to get the placements right. And honestly, I was just running out of October. So I didn't get too bogged down in the rendering, and ultimately I reduced the opacity and just use it as a normal shading layer so that the design is still visible. I didn't go too crazy rendering this forest background because, again, design challenge, but if you guys like him, maybe I'll illustrate this properly and do that cool shading I wanted and sell it as a poster. I don't know. Whatever, he's done. He's my son. I think he came out pretty cool, pretty spooky. And there you have them. God, looking at the three of them together makes me so happy. Halloween is such a beautiful holiday for creativity. I'm not sure what I want to do with these three characters yet. I might sell them on stickers or as adoptables. Whichever people want. I'll have a Ko-Fi link up soon, so maybe subscribe so you hear about that when it comes out. In the meantime, if you're interested in a piece like this, my commission info is available at ratvote.tumblr.com. As this month draws to a close, eat some candy, put on a spooky movie. I'll be watching something in a William Castle, and have a furry happy Halloween.